Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worry. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games to play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2.
Welcome to the Suplex Sports Podcast. It's your boy Mish, back and in full effect. Welcome. This is the Weekend Roundup here on the Suplex Sports Podcast, as we're going to be getting into the events of the week and some news, and we'll go ahead and finish up with our infamous Suplex of the Weekend. With that said, we would all like for you all to welcome in. Please share, like, subscribe. We are here on YouTube, as well as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Spotify and Apple Music. Please tune in, check us out, hit us up with questions, comments, and we'll be sure to get back to you. All right, get right into it. Big NFL Week 12 just wrapped up. A lot of surprises. A lot of things didn't go the way they should have went for some teams, but it is what it is. Also, there was a UFC fight night, and we'll go ahead and touch a little bit on the NBA in terms of stand-ins. I want to say we'll just go ahead and just see where things is at with that whole entire in-season tournament, and then we'll pretty much go from there, all right? So we'll go ahead and get into it. NFL Week 12, good weekend of football took place. One thing that I could take away from this weekend is that Saquon Barkley is... he's undeniably that dude, and makes you wonder if the Giants had Saquon with the Malik Neighbors plus the solid quarterback. Who knows, right? So neither here nor there. So we're gonna get into it. Thursday night football. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Cleveland Browns. Now, my man Jameis Winston, man, is he's a biblical man, isn't he? You know what I'm saying? Big preacher man got there and said that it was a glorious day to play football in the snow in Cleveland. Glorious day. The horses were ready for battle, and to God we give the glory. I hear you, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but God gave them the glory, and they went out and got a W. Hey, didn't expect it though, because Pittsburgh been pretty solid last couple of weeks, as they have been pretty much dominant, leading their division right now. Didn't expect them to lose to Cleveland in Cleveland, but a relatively good game in that retrospect. I think when you got a good dude such as Jameis Winston leading the way, all things are possible, provided the good Lord protects them. Amen. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers straight up smacked up the Giants 30-7 in Jersey. The Bucks, when the Bucks are good and going, they're going really good. Bucky Irvin had a big game as well. Mike Evans had a pretty solid game as well. Pretty much season's already done for the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Chuck it up. Malik Neighbors, even wanted to address the situation with the quarterback after the fact, in which I think, he's entitled to. You don't want all that talent go to waste, but, for him being a rookie and having a big voice like this speaks volumes. For him being a leader role in that locker room and where things could potentially go. So I'll salute and kudos to you, Malik, for stepping up and saying something in that regard. And hopefully down the line, maybe they can get their things together. All right, the Detroit Lions, they went ahead and spanked up the Indianapolis Colts 24-6. The Lions are rolling. The Lions, I think, is pretty much one of the teams to beat right now in the NFC. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And in terms of other side of the ball with Indy, Not the same results that you got the week prior with Anthony Richardson returning back to the lineup. But bad game all around. I mean, even Jonathan Taylor, did not have a good day at all. So it was a pretty much down day for Indy, and we'll see if they bounce back going forward. All right. The Titans surprisingly went ahead and beat the Texans in Texas 32-27. I didn't see it happen. Didn't think it was possible. But you knew that Houston, even though coming off a big win against Dallas, they were due for a loss in some way, shape, or form, right? I mean, I kind of got that sense. I wouldn't have thought that they would have lost to Tennessee, but given how many injuries Houston essentially has right now, especially in their receiving core, with Stephon Diggs, still no excuse because Collins is back, but it's just not. They just aren't the same where they essentially were at one point in time. So, with that said, the Texans are going to push forward, but this was a major step back, going against a Tennessee team that is not really fighting for anything, except for jobs right now. The Carolina Panthers, they almost beat the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Panthers 30-27 in Carolina. Carolina was not playing no games. They was not playing no games. They stuck it. They stuck it to Kansas City as much as they could. And I want to say it was one of the better games that I've actually seen Carolina play. Makes you really wonder, what can they really do to get it together besides just quarterback? If you're going to play a full football game the way you just played that whole entire game against Kansas City to defend the champions, then you all need to question yourselves the last other 11 weeks of the schedule and see what other things you guys could have did to bring things together. You know what I'm saying? Everything really can't be on the quarterback. Things fall in line as a team. But, for whatever it is, what it is, I mean, you got somebody who's got to, drive the ship essentially. But, Kansas City held on to win 30-27. It was almost a major upset. Yes, it was. But it just wasn't meant to be. The Washington Commanders had the Dallas Cowboys on the ropes. Had them on the ropes. Field goal would have put them over, put them right there. It would have been a very, 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 very good victory within the division, and essentially just couldn't come clean. Missed field goal and other things that led to a loss. Dallas Cowboys beating the Washington Commanders 34-26. Commanders are a very good team, very good young team. I think the Commanders are going to make the playoffs this year. But we'll see where things go from there. Dallas's Cowboys are treading water right now. Also in overtime, the Vikings beat the Chicago Bears 30-27, divisional matchup. Like I said, I talked a lot of smack about the Vikings, and the Vikings are flourishing. Caleb Williams, under a new offensive coordinator, points are being put up, but it's not where I think things should be, considering that type of receiving core that they have over there in Chicago. But we'll see what happens going forward. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6. The Raiders lost to the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix 29-19. Right now, in terms of rookie of the year, it's got to be between McDaniels and Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix has really poured it on as of lately as well. So shout out to Bo Nix. The Packers beat the 49ers 38-10. The 49ers and Brock Purdy didn't play at all this game, but with that said, the 49ers got some issues, man. They got some serious issues that they need to really figure out. And I understand, Ayuk going down for the season. You still got Debo. Ricky Pearsall's back. You got Juwan Jennings. You still got George Kittle, McCaffrey. So there's weapons, Jordan Mason. There's weapons there. You know what I'm saying? So now it's crunch time. It's crunch time. You guys gonna put it all together and make the run, or we're gonna fold them up. But week 12 is now over and done with. So, a few more weeks left to go in the season. We'll see what the Niners are made of and see if they'll go ahead and make the push. But right now, I think things up for grabs pretty much in the NFC to some degree. With that said, those Philadelphia Eagles spanking up those Rams, 37-20 behind, 302 yards by Saquon Barkley. My man was catching, running, broke for 2 70-yard runs. I mean, it was probably one of the better, best Sunday night performances I've seen, honestly, from a running back in quite some time. I mean, he did his thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, Henry did his thing a few weeks ago, but what Saquon did, and he didn't even have to do that jump backward shit he did a couple of weeks back, which is very spectacular, by the way. But that's what we're dealing with now. Saquon's a monster. They got a tush-push, no Diddy specialist back there. I'm sorry, Zay. I've been pushed the button. No Diddy. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Gainwell, company, man. Yeah, they look all right. I'm not going to lie. While Devontae Smith didn't even play. A.J. Brown had a nice game. I mean, Philly's looking, they look all right. They look all right. Look like they're getting their wheels back on track again. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't looking good for a while there. And of course, surprise, surprise, the Miami Dolphins spanked the New England Patriots 34-15. And currently right now, during Monday Night Football, the LA Chargers are playing the Baltimore Ravens. The Chargers are currently up 10-0. Very intriguing. And I'm very happy because I didn't play no parlay on anybody scoring within that first half for Baltimore. Gotta give myself a pat on the back on that one, bro. I ain't make no parlay. That FanDuel, I didn't even do it at all. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the standings in the NFL as they stand right now. We'll start off with the NFC North. Detroit, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears. Detroit's 10-1, Vikings are 9-2, Packers are 8-3, Bears, see you later, 4-7. That's what I'm saying, man. That NFC North division is probably the tightest I've seen the division in quite some time. And I don't and something's got to get done. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see somebody go, but somebody's going. All three teams from the North, they make the playoffs. That'll be pretty cool, honestly. But we'll see how things shake out. I mean, yeah. NFC South, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Saints, the Panthers. Of course, we all know that the Panthers are done. The Saints, yeah, they look like they're done. The Bucks, we've seen teams make the playoffs with 6 losses, so we'll see what happens there. I'll leave a door open for them. And the Falcons are 6-5. I think the Falcons could be much better than what they are. NFC West, Seattle Seahawks are 6-5. Cardinals 6-5. Rams 5-6. 49ers are 5-6, dead last in the West. Like I said, this is it. One more loss for the Niners, and that's it for the year for them. Rams, they dealt with a lot of injuries going into the year. I mean, if they can make the shift and get things back on track, it'll be pretty good for them in their favor. I'm rooting for Geno Smith and the Seahawks. In terms of Kyle and the Cardinals, I just don't know. NFC East, the Eagles 9-2, Commanders 7-5, Cowboys 4-7, Giants 2-9. Cowboys and the Giants, they're pretty much done. They're done. That's a done deal. So we're just going to go ahead and say the Eagles and the Commanders right now could potentially make the playoffs in the NFC. Yeah, that North division is pretty tight. All right, AFC West. It's the Chiefs 10-1, Chargers 7-3, Broncos 7-5, Raiders 2-9. Damn. Bo Nix. You know, so Raiders are done for the year. Broncos are very much in the hunt. Chargers are very much in the hunt. And the Chiefs, we know where the Chiefs is at. Chargers are pretty much surprising considering that, they had a whole entire shift and a whole entire wide receiver core in the offseason. But my man Harbaugh's out there getting it done. So we'll see how that shakes out. And very good, by the way, first 10 games of the, season to see exactly where they're at. Granted that they're playing tonight, but where their record's at, that's pretty good, especially for Harbaugh coming in his first season with the Chargers. All right, AFC South, Texans at 7-5, Colts 5-7, Titans 3-8, Jags 2-9. Jags, Titans, Colts, they're pretty much done. We'll see with the Houston if they can make a push or not. AFC North, Steelers at 8-3, Ravens at 7-4, Bengals at 4-7, Browns at 3-8. Browns are done. Bengals, yeah, they're pretty much done. A lot of hope going in for Jamar Chase's last season in Cincinnati. We'll see essentially what happens. Is he gonna get paid? They gonna give that man that bread, or is he gonna moonwalk up on out of there? Baltimore's gonna make the playoffs. Pittsburgh's gonna make the playoffs, and essentially ride out from there. And of course that AFC East, we got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Pats. Jets and Patriots are done. Terrible year for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets and that squadron out there. In terms of the Patriots, a lot of questions to be held in Foxborough in terms of general manager and starting with the front office and trickling down to the field in that end game as far as I'm concerned. Miami at 5-6. I don't see Miami making the playoffs at this rate. But then again, stranger things has happened. Like I said, I don't really give teams that have 6 losses completely out of it, because I've seen teams with 6 losses make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens in that regard. And the Buffalo Bills look pretty solid in that regard. All right, shifting on over. UFC Fight Night. Yan versus Figueiredo. It went down. Coming a week off of a major fight weekend, I'm still on riding a cloud 9. But wasn't it a fast week though? Damn, flights overseas, a few days, come back. But when you go away, it feels as though time, moves kind of slow. But then when you come back, it's like, and being able to, do this in time how we put out stuff, bro, we good. We good. With that said, so UFC Fight Night. Peter Yan won by 5th round decision against Davison Figueiredo in the main event in the bantamweight division of UFC Fight Night. Pretty much, it was a good fight. But Yan actually, evidently the more skilled fighter right now. Figueiredo's going to probably go back to the drawing board. We'll go back to the drawing board and we'll see what he comes back out with. Peter Yan, we'll see what's next for him. Woman strawweight, Yan Yao Nan versus Tabitha Ricci. Pretty good fight. Yan did her thing pretty much against Ricci as that went all 3 rounds. In the women's strawweight division, the knockout of the night for me was watching Zay, I know you've seen it, Muslim Sakalahov versus Song Cannon with a spinning back kick, square flush right to the face, dropped him. Night.
I don't think it's worse than Uriah's.
No, I don't know. It wasn't like Uriah's. It wasn't as violent as Uriah's.
Uriah still has like probably one of the best knockouts.
Yeah.
As far as the spinning heel kick,
Yeah.
That
Yeah, but at the same time, but
it's right there.
Yeah, but Kenan was laid out like Jay Cargill on SmackDown. He was laid out, clean, like I had never seen before. All right, so we're gonna shift over to the NBA. We're gonna go into the NBA tournament, in-season tournament, and their current standings. So East, the East and West, they have a group A, B, and C. So I'll just go through the standings real quick of both groups. I mean, at this point, is it? Yeah, I like the nice, in-season tournament thing, the specialized courts and stuff like that. It makes you wonder, should we just, switch to those courts going further? Honestly, I mean, is there really so much as a difference? I don't know. I think it brought a lot of color to the game for me. I can't speak for anybody else. I mean, I really enjoy it. It looks like what you going into the future, maybe within the next 5-10 years from now, of what maybe NBA courts may look like. And again, if we just keep it traditional, that's fine as well. But I'm just saying, for what it's worth, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
How'd they have that?
No, that's only for the in-season tournament. That's it. If they was rocking with those, throughout the rest of the year, each team, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with it. But at the same time, I mean, you got options just like you got options for different jerseys as well. You can have different floor patterns. I don't know. That's maybe something to think about. All right. So, in the Eastern Conference, Group A, Orlando are 2-0. The Knicks are 2-0. Philly is 1-2. Brooklyn is 1-2. Charlotte 0-2. Eastern Conference Group B, the Milwaukee Bucks 2-0. Pistons are 2-0. Miami's 1-1. Toronto 0-2. 0-2, and Indiana is 0-2. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Pacers and Halliburton. I mean, even I have high hopes for Indiana stepping it up this season. I'm not seeing it yet. I don't know what Halliburton's doing, but I tell you this much: he better not enter himself into the Royal Rumble if he can't get his act together on the basketball court. Because when it comes down to it, constructive and critiquing and things of that nature when it comes from journalists, not from Mish, of course, but those who get the big dollars, they're gonna what I'm saying, come out there and just spank you up. I'm just saying, don't do it unless you get your game together, bro. That's just my advice. All right, Group C in the Eastern Conference, Atlanta's 2-1, Boston's 2-1, Cleveland's 1-1, Chicago's 1-1, and Washington is 0-2. Western Conference, Houston is 2-0. The Clippers are 1-1. Portland's 1-1. Minnesota's 1-1. Sacramento's 0-2. Group B in the Western Conference, Lakers are 2-0. OKC is 1-1. Phoenix is 1-1. Utah's 0-2. San Antonio's 1-1. And in Group C of the Western Conference, Golden State is 3-0. Dallas is 2-1. New Orleans is 1-2. Denver 1-2, and Memphis is 0-2. That's what's happening. I mean, like I said, I like it so far. I mean, I don't think for the NBA players it's no different from any other game, that they play, because it actually counts. So, but for what it's worth, the tide, it's cool for the most part. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into a little bit of news. After Johnny Bones Jones's triumphant defeat of Stipe Miocic last weekend, who's coming out the woodwork? Francis Ngannou. And he challenges John Jones, says, fight to see who would win top heavyweight. Well, only problem is with that, Francis, is that you're not with the UFC. And we know Dana and how Dana's going to get down with that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not in it in UFC, then, I mean, most likely ain't going down. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know? Huh?
He would do it.
You think Dana would do it?
Dana would do it. That's money. That's a fight that should have happened, years ago. But he pushing off, like I believe Francis. He didn't, he wasn't going to negotiate. And I'm gonna say it. He ran from that fight and went straight to boxing. Watch his knee.
Well, and that's fine. I mean, thinking of it in the business sense, he went ahead and he I think he capitalized on the paydays in which he can. So now he can go ahead and probably do some other things. But yeah, I do want to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I think that may be the fight. That might be the top heavyweight fight. That might be the draw. Okay, unless we see John go back to light heavyweight, which
nah, he has to face it. He's the interim champion. I don't know if the rules changed, but if you're the interim champion, you gotta face the champion.
So we're gonna see him face the champ.
Yes,
Well, so we'll see Aspinall. We'll see if Aspinall can, we'll see what happens when they get this together. I'm very hopeful. But honestly, as of right now, I probably, in terms of negotiating and all that good old stuff, I personally wouldn't see that fight taking place till sometime next year. If that was to take place, sometime next year. All right, Charlotte Hornets forward Grant Williams. He's out for the season after he tore his ACL. Watched Grant during the game the other night, pulled up, and went down like a sniper got him. Helped back to the locker room, and that's pretty much it for Grant for the season and his shenanigans. But good luck to Grant. We'll see him next season, healthy and right back at it again. All right. The Juan Soto sweepstakes in New York. Well, not in New York, in the MLB. That may be coming this week, as well as some offers may be trickling down for the current New York Yankees superstar who has went out to visit multiple teams in his offseason and potentially finding a new home. He could go across town, go to Queens and be with the Mets. Or he could, come to Boston or stay with the Yankees in the Bronx. There's options out there for Mr. Soto, and we'll see what happens and monitor that situation. But one thing's for certain, Juan is going to get the bag. That's for damn sure. He's going to get the bag. All right. Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers done in New York. Last season, he only played 3 plays, went down with the Achilles. This year came back, and in their current state at 3-8, not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. So going into, I want to say this off season, because the season for the Jets is pretty much over. All right, you look at it. They went and got Devontae Adams. They got Allen Lazard with Garrett Wilson. That alone is it's a pick your poison on both sides, to me. Not to mention Tyler Conklin, not to mention Bryce Hall and was it Braylon Allen, I think. They got a nice little squad out there in New York. But, maybe the issue is Rodgers. Maybe it might be time for New York to go back to the drawing board when it comes to drafting an actual quarterback and not relying on the old faithful. We've seen this picture before when they had Brett Favre for those couple of seasons. Things didn't pan out too well. Now we're back to Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong, I like Aaron Rodgers. But, whether or not Aaron is going to remain a Jet or Jet out of town is much to be up for debate right now, considering how the season went, considering that they went out and made the moves to get rid of Mike Williams and add Devontae Adams. It's a lot to process and a lot to take in. It really is. But we'll see what happens. You know, I think either way, any team right now would take Aaron Rodgers on their team right now, essentially. Especially if that team was an aspiring playoff team and, God forbid, the quarterback went down, you got yourself an essential hired gun. But I don't know if these blackout retreats are doing him any justice. Because, you know, I don't see him blacking out in the gridiron the way I thought he should be. But that is what it is on that regard. All right, Daniel Jones has been released, as we know, from the New York Giants. His tenure is over with the Giants. And he's has already cleared waivers and is said to have potential suitors as well. So we'll sit back and see, you know, where Danny Jones will potentially land. You know, still a lot of football will be played, you know, in the NFL. And we'll see if he ends up on somebody else's sideline this season. I don't know. He's going to be a good backup, though. I will say that much. Unless somebody goes down. All right. Coach Prime was candid about his loss to Kansas. Colorado Buffaloes lost pretty bad to Kansas this past weekend. And Coach Prime said simply, we fumbled it. You let that outside noise essentially get into your head and your brain and how things are going, and basically destiny was in our hands and you let it go. Simple as that. As the Buffaloes, I believe their record at that time was 8-2. Now they're 8-3. Of course, you know, it's getting into the bowl season, and you know, with bowl season, you know, who's getting selected to dance where, what wins and losses becomes very much in discussions. And essentially, Colorado was in a discussion, but, you know, they got to keep their mind focused and straight and go out there and handle business. But we'll see what happens, you know. We'll see what happens. All right. Coach Bill Belichick could coach in 2025. Rumor has it the Jags, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers could be possible destinations for Coach Bill Belichick. I don't know. I mean, I could see him in Jacksonville. I could see him in Dallas. I could see him in Tampa as well. I mean, it'd be very interesting. Him moving on from Tampa. Well, Tampa getting rid of you know, Todd Bowles. Considering things that they've, you know, essentially been going through down in Tampa. Well, you know, knowing that Tampa is not a bad team at all. So that would be the interesting move. We all know what's going on with the Cowboys. We all know what's going on with the boys. You know what I'm saying? We know that Mike McCarthy, this is potentially his last season there. So my only thing is that with Belichick potentially coming to Dallas, where does the power struggle lie between him and Jerry Jones? As we all know, that you know, Jerry is a GM, and I don't see Jerry relinquishing those reins at any time at all concerning his football team. Belichick for so many years was the GM and coach of the New England Patriots. You know, could it work? Potentially, I think it could. I think there's some admiration there. And then the Jacksonville situation, I mean, you can reunite him with Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. You know, Doug Peterson's been under a lot of scrutiny as of late, so we'll see what happens in that regard, man. But, you know, also I wouldn't rule out Mike Vrabel in discussion as well, as Coach Vrabel is pretty damn good himself. I think he got let go a little bit too early in Tennessee, but, you know, all that came to a head when they traded away a la A.J. Brown. And last but not least, Conor McGregor was found liable in a 2018 rape case and now has to pay a woman $258,000. Conor comes out and says, you know, he was sorry about his infidelity, but he plans on appealing the current decision. hey man, you know what I'm saying? You know, I say it all the time, bro. Don't put yourself in situations where that's going to be detrimental to you or your family. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of temptations out here in this world, bro. But, you know, it's kind of hard to stay even keel. But when you got, you know, when you got money like that, it's better you just take your family with you. You know what I'm saying? That way you know what you're fighting for. You know what I'm saying? You look at them day in, day out, and you know what you're doing it for. So, I mean, that's essentially what I would say in that regard. All right, guys, we need you all to share, like, and subscribe here on the Suplex Sports Podcast. Once again, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, Facebook. We are on what's that other one now? They got another one. What's the new Instagram thing you got? Threads. Suplex Threads. Spotify, Apple Music. Tune in, share, like, subscribe. Just click it. Just take a couple seconds. Just click. That's all. That's all we asking. Just click. Do it for the kids. All right. Suplex of the weekend. My suplex of the weekend thus far is going to. Good suplex. Suplexing, we're going with Saquon Barkley. With Saquon Barkley, 302 yards. Saquon did his thing for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, just straight embarrassed the Rams. Embarrassed the Rams on national television, essentially. 270 plus breakout, straight gone. Kind of reminds me of Emmitt Smith against the Giants back in the day. Honestly, that's what it reminded me of. But make no mistake, Saquon Barkley, he's back in full effect, folks. Back in full effect. And interesting to see what happens with the Philadelphia Eagles making their playoff push and potential Super Bowl run, if it comes down to it. That's my suplex of the weekend. Saquon Barkley. The shine's on you, my brother. All right, once again, share, like, and subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok. Holla at us. Hit us with your comments. We here for you. We get back at you, as we always do. This is Suplex Sports Podcast. This is the Weekend Roundup. It's your boy Mish. We'll see you guys next week.